Good evening and welcome to this edition of The List on UWW-TV. I'm Matt Ellis alongside Nolan Zopydlowski. For the next few minutes, we'll present our top 5 sports stories of the week and discuss why they made the top 5. Do your top 5 make our list? Let's find out. At our number 5 spot, the NBA's postseason may have begun, but there's still things from the regular season that need to be sorted out. The award races have come down to the 3 candidates for the following honors: Most Valuable Player, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man, Most Improved Player, and Coach of the Year. Boston Celtics guard Marcus Smart was named the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year on Monday night, just one day after he was announced as one of the 3 finalists for the award. The MVP race has been among the closest in recent history. Embiid and Jokic fought for pole position all season, along with Giannis, a 2-time winner, looming in the background. With the finalists being announced, who are your predictions for these awards and who were the biggest snubs? Along with, what are the odds Giannis wins his 3rd MVP?
Well, first off, I'd like to congratulate Marcus Smart on winning Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, he was the first guard in like 26 years to do so. So that's a major accomplishment for him. I thought he definitely deserved that. As far as MVP goes, as kind of a biased Bucks fan, I would say Giannis. I think that he has been, once again, the catalyst for the Bucks' success this season. But I can understand wanting to give it to Jokic. I think he's the favorite to win it, and I think that ultimately he should probably win it, if not Giannis. I don't think Embiid quite got there. He, once again, kind of fell off at the end of the year. As far as some of the other awards, Most Improved Player, I think definitely going to Ja Morant. And you look at a lock, you want to talk about Sixth Man of the Year, Tyler Hero, for sure a lock for that award. At our number 4 sports story of the week, the Las Vegas Raiders and their quarterback Derek Carr have agreed to a 3-year, $121.5 million contract extension. Carr is now set to make over $140 million in the next 4 years and an average of $40.5 million per year, ranking 5th among all quarterbacks in average annual salary. Derek Carr's career has had ups and downs playing for the Raiders, but with 4,800 passing yards and 23 touchdowns, he had one of the best statistical seasons of his career while also leading the Raiders back to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Can Derek Carr lead his team to first place in the stacked AFC West division? And do you think Derek Carr is getting overpaid here, Matt?
Well, look, Derek Carr is definitely one of the better quarterbacks in the league. You're talking about a guy who's definitely top 12, and he's been really stable for Las Vegas and Oakland, and that's just kind of the reward that he's going to get now, and he gets a good contract. Is it an overpay? A little bit, yes, but when every team is overpaying for their quarterback, things like this are justified. It's definitely going to be a tough division for the Raiders that they're going to be in. They could finish last or they could finish first. It's just going to be an offensive kind of blood battle between plenty of teams. It's a division with a lot of good quarterbacks, so Derek Carr and the Raiders, it's a good match, good quarterback, so things are going to really line up in that division, and it's going to be tough for every team, but the Raiders might just, have a couple of good wins and finish the season out strong. At our number 3 spot, as the MLB lockout began to threaten the early portion of the 2022 schedule, one of the biggest concerns was the celebration of Jackie Robinson Day, which takes place every April 15th to honor the legacy of the man who broke the league's color barrier. Every year, players around the MLB wear number 42 in memory of Robinson, who played his first game of his Hall of Fame career on April 15th, 1947. This year's event carried extra meaning as the 75th anniversary of his groundbreaking achievement. Tributes poured in from players and teams across the sports world on one of baseball's most important days. To remember the career of Jackie Robinson, what are some of Robinson's most notable career achievements? And can you imagine how the MLB would be if it wasn't for the courage Jackie Robinson showed?
Well, yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Matt. Jackie Robinson's main achievement was breaking that color barrier, and he did a fantastic job. He was the perfect candidate for it. I think the movie 42, talking about Jackie Robinson's life and him breaking the color barrier in Major League Baseball, that was a very big movie and kind of shed a spotlight into how bad it was for Robinson, the racism that he faced and just ultimately the things that were said at him, just unbearable for most people, but he had to remain strong so the experiment, as they called it, could succeed. But and he was a perfect candidate also for his baseball achievements. He won an MVP, he won a batting title in 1949. He was also one of the premier base stealers in the MLB. Just overall a fantastic career, and I think definitely deserving of that achievement of not only having his number retired across the entire league, but having a day each year where all the players in the MLB wear his number.
We have our reaction to the Bucks taking Game 1 on the list next. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Jitters Coffee House. Located on the first floor of the Wells Towers, Jitters is a student-run coffee lounge and offers a variety of coffee and ice cream-based drinks and is home to many entertaining programs, including live music, gamer trivia nights, and other performances. Coordinate your activity by emailing jitters@uww.edu. Jitters is completely run by volunteers who can earn service hours and even receive a free drink during their shift. Stop in tonight at Jitters Coffee House, where fun events and community come together.
Welcome to the University Bookstore. The University Bookstore provides students with the opportunity to purchase apparel, gift items, textbooks, snacks, supplies, and other necessities right here on campus. The bookstore is also home to textbook rental, where you can find many of your required textbooks. Our friendly staff always goes the extra mile to provide customers with a quick and pleasant experience. Visit the bookstore today to find great deals on everything you need to succeed as a Warhawk.
The UC can get you connected to all your basic needs. Grab a coffee and a meal. Study by the fireplace. Bowl, play, and relax when you want a break from homework. The UC has much more to offer to Whitewater students. Go to the UC's website to see what's going on this week.
Welcome back to The List on UWW-TV. Let's continue the countdown to this week's top 2 sports stories. At our number 2 spot, the Milwaukee Brewers fended off a late push from St. Louis to claim a 6-5 win to split the series. Josh Hader came on in the 9th and closed things out to earn his 4th save of the season and his 100th of his career. The win moved the Brewers back to 500 at 5-5. Coming up, the Brewers will continue their homestand in a series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Will their power bats wake up in this Brewers offense? And what will the Brewers have to do to win the series against the Pirates, Matt?
Well, yeah, the Brewers are going to have to get their offense going. The offense has been a concern for the Brewers now for a number of years, but so far it's been kind of the pitcher's fault, or I guess the pitchers need to step it up kind of in Milwaukee. Freddie Peralta did not have a good spring training, and now that's continuing into the regular season. So the Brewers are definitely going to need their pitchers to be dominant. But the good thing for the Brewers is they've got some time. You know, this is early into the year. The NL isn't exactly stacked, and the Brewers definitely have time to figure things out. The Cardinals got a good offense, so do the Cubs. So for the Brewers, it's just going to be kind of outscoring those two teams, outpacing those two teams, and they're going to be fine. They're in a division that's relatively weak, and as long as their offense and pitching can click at the right time, the Brewers will still be a deep postseason contender. And specifically, the Brewers are definitely looking to kind of get things going at the early start of the season because of the way last season ended. So in my opinion, the Brewers will be just fine as long as guys like Freddie Peralta and then the offense can eventually get things going. For our number 1 sports story of the week, well, it wasn't easy as Bucs fans were hoping. The Bucs were able to take care of business and go up 1-0 versus the Chicago Bulls with a 93-86 win. Two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo had 27 points and 16 rebounds, but didn't score in the fourth quarter due mostly to foul trouble. Brook Lopez added 18 points and Drew Holiday 15, both hitting key baskets down the stretch. What are some keys to the success for the Bucs in the playoffs going forward, and do you think the Bucs can sweep the Bulls?
Well, I absolutely think the Bucs can sweep the Bulls, Matt. And the Bucs had probably their worst game of the entire season in Game 1 of the playoffs. And Game 1, Milwaukee Bucks in the playoffs are really bad to begin with. But they had an atrocious night shooting the ball, especially in the fourth quarter. But luckily, the Bulls weren't much better. In fact, they were kind of worse in some categories. And the Bucs were able to steal a win here. But, I mean, the Bucs are just going to have to cut down their turnovers. They had 21 in that game. That's far too many for a championship team. And they're just going to need other people to step up. Giannis did have a big night, but Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton were both cold. They're going to need their big three to get going. The bright spot was Brook Lopez. He shined. He had a great first quarter, and then he picked it up at the end of the fourth quarter as well, hitting 2 clutch and ones. And he had 18 points, I believe. So Chicago, what they're going to have to do to get back into this series, their big three, especially DeMar DeRozan, are going to need to step it up. They shot 21 for 71 in this game, just 4 for 22 from three. So ultimately, their shooting was non-existent. So they're going to have to get going if they want to have any chance of stealing a game or two off the Milwaukee Bucks, I think.
And that will do it for this edition of The List. We'll be back next week on UWW-TV to talk up the sports headlines. For Nolan Zopydlowski, I'm Matt Ellis. See you next week.